The sound of the doorbell echoed through my beach house like a stranger's whisper. I wasn't expecting anyone when I opened the door. The past stood in front of me. My daughter Elena and her husband Victor. 12 years had passed since I last saw their faces. 12 years since they decided I no longer fit into their lives. Yet there they were standing awkwardly on my doorstep, wearing smiles that didn't quite reach their eyes. Their gaze slipped past me almost instantly, not toward my face, toward my house, the white marble floors. The open living room, the glass walls revealing the endless blue ocean behind me. Elena swallowed hard. Mom. Her voice trembled, fragile and uncertain. We need to talk. I didn't answer right away. For 12 years. They had lived as if I didn't exist. No calls, no holidays, no birthdays, no visits. I had never met my grandchildren, and now after I bought a luxury beach house outright, they suddenly needed to talk. I studied them quietly. Victor looked thinner, older. His once polished confidence had been replaced by restless eyes that scanned every expensive detail behind me. He adjusted the collar of his wrinkled shirt as if trying to regain control of a situation already slipping away. Elena stood beside him, hands clasped tightly together. Her dress was worn, faded at the edges. Her shoes were cracked, neglected small details that revealed a truth they hadn't spoken yet. Financial desperation. Talk, I finally repeated, my voice calm, almost curious. After 12 years of silence, now you want to talk. The color drained from Elena's face. Victor cleared his throat. Well, we've been meaning to reach out for a while. I smiled softly. How convenient. While they built a life without me, I survived alone. Every morning before sunrise, I woke up to prepare desserts in a tiny kitchen that barely fit to people, let alone dreams. I sold pies, cakes, and pastries at the local farmer's market. Cinnamon clung to my hands. Vanilla lived in my clothes. Sugar dusted my memories. I worked until my back ached and my fingers cracked, but I never complained. People loved my baking. Strangers appreciated me more than my own child ever had. On Sundays, while families laughed together over brunch, I stood under the sun smiling at customers, pretending I wasn't going home to an empty apartment. I told people Elena was busy. I lied. Well, loneliness teaches you that skill. Elena changed after she married. Victor, slowly, quietly, carefully at first. Calls became shorter, then less frequent, than awkward. Victor was always busy. Victor always had work. Victor always thought it was better. Plans were canceled. Invitations disappeared. Important moments passed without me. Her graduation, her baby shower, her children's milestones. Oh, Mom, we forgot it was last minute. It was just something small. Each excuse cut deeper than the last, and I let it happen because I believed love was patient, because I believed family was forever. I was wrong 12 years ago. Elena sat across from me at my kitchen table. She didn't touch the coffee I made. Mom, she said quietly, Victor and I think it's best if we have some space. Space. That word changed my life. We need to focus on our family, she continued. No interference. No pressure. Interference. That's what I had become. Not her mother, not her support. A problem that was the last real conversation we ever had. Standing in the doorway of my oceanfront home, I finally stepped aside. Come in, I said. Their eyes widened. Victor walked in first, already measuring value in his head. Elena followed, cautious. Overwhelmed, they sat on my cream-colored leather sofa, the one that cost more than everything they owned combined. So, I said, sitting across from them, what brings you here after 12 years? Silence. Victor glanced at Elena. Elena looked at the floor, finally. He spoke. We're going through a hard time. I nodded slowly. Of course you are. Victor leaned forward, elbows resting on his knees, hands tightly clasped. We lost everything, he said. The words hung in the air, heavy and practiced, like a line he had rehearsed many times before, saying it out loud. Our business partner ran off, he continued. The market crashed. Debts piled up. The house, it's gone. Elena finally looked up at me. Her eyes were red, swollen, exhausted. We didn't know where else to go, she whispered. You're our mother. I watched her carefully. 12 years ago. I wasn't her mother when she needed silence today. I was suddenly her last hope. Funny how desperation rewrites definitions. Victor spoke while Elena nodded beside him. They had tried everything. Loans, friends, relatives. No one helped. Victor said, shaking his head, people only care when you're successful. I almost laughed. That lesson had taken me 12 years to learn. And the children? I asked calmly. Elena's lips trembled. They're confused. Scared, she said. They keep asking why we had to leave our house. She paused, then added softly, They ask about you, too. That was the first lie. If they had asked, she would have called me years ago. Victor shifted in his seat. You're doing well, he said, gesturing around the room. It's obvious. Yes, that was the point. You always were strong, he added quickly. We knew you'd be okay. Knew? Or assumed I didn't matter. I stood up and walked toward the glass wall overlooking the ocean. The waves moved steadily, confidently, ever rushing, never retreating. Just like I had learned to live. Behind me, Victor continued, we're not asking for much. Just a little help to get back on our feet. A little. People always say that when they want a lot. 3 months earlier, a lawyer had knocked on my door. A distant aunt, someone who had watched my life quietly from afar, had passed away. She left everything to me, because, the letter read, you were the only one who never asked me for anything. The inheritance wasn't just money, it was validation. It was proof that someone, somewhere, had seen my struggle. I didn't tell Alina and Victor any of this yet. I wanted to see how far they would go without knowing. Victor sighed, dramatically. We thought maybe we could stay here for a while, he said, just until things improve. Alina grabbed his arm. We'll help around the house, she added quickly. I'll cook, I'll clean, we'll make it work. I turned back toward them. Stay? I asked. In my home? Their eyes lit up with relief. Yes, Victor said instantly. Family supports family. There it was, the sentence he had been waiting to use. I walked back to my chair and sat down slowly. For 12 years, I said, I supported myself. They both froze. No help. No calls, no visits. No concern. Elena's tears fell freely now. I was young, she cried. I didn't know how to stand up to him, she pointed at Victor. I was scared. Victor's face hardened. That's not fair, he snapped. We made decisions together. I raised my hand enough. My voice was calm, but firm. I looked at Alina. If I were still living in that small apartment, I asked, selling cakes every morning just to survive, would you be sitting here right now? Silence. Victor stared at the floor. Alina couldn't answer. That was answer enough. I leaned back. You didn't come back because you missed me. I said, you came back because you saw what I have. Victor stood up suddenly. That's not true. Sit down, I replied. He did, because for the first time, he understood something had changed. I wasn't the lonely woman they had left behind. I was no longer waiting. The room felt smaller. Now, not because the space had changed, but because the truth had finally filled it. Victor rubbed his palms together nervously. Alina wiped her tears, trying to regain control. So what are you saying? Victor asked carefully. That you won't help us. I looked at them for a long moment. Then I stood up. I'm saying, I replied, that help doesn't start after 12 years of absence. I didn't get this life by luck. I continued. I earned it slowly, painfully, alone. Their eyes followed me as I walked to the bookshelf and pulled out an envelope. 3 months ago, I said, placing it on the table, I inherited everything from someone who actually saw me. Elena's breath caught. Victor's face went pale. A relative, I added, who watched me work, who watched me survive, who never forgot me. I let that sink in. I didn't ask for it, I said quietly, just like I never asked you for anything. Alina stood up and reached for my hand. Mom, please, she cried. We can fix this. We can start again. Her touch felt familiar, but it didn't feel safe. Starting again, I said gently. Pulling my hand back means admitting the past, not erasing it. Victor stepped forward. We're family, he insisted. You can't just turn your back on us. I met his eyes. You turned your back first, I said. I simply learned how to walk forward without you. Alina fell to her knees. I made a mistake, she sobbed. I know I did. I knelt down in front of her. Yes, I said softly. You did. She looked up, hope flickering in her eyes. But, I continued, a mistake is forgetting a birthday, not forgetting a mother for 12 years. Her shoulders collapsed. I stood up and walked to the front door. I won't fund your bad choices, I said, and I won't buy back my place in your life. I opened the door. You're not leaving empty-handed, I added. They looked at me, confused. I'm giving you the one thing I never had. I paused. Consequences. Victor said nothing, Alina whispered. Goodbye, Mom. I nodded. Take care of yourself, I replied. I finally am. The door closed. The house was silent, but it wasn't lonely that night. I walked along the beach barefoot. The sand was cool, the waves steady. For the first time in years, my heart felt light. I didn't feel guilty, I felt free. Some people don't miss you, they miss the access, and sometimes, the bravest thing a mother can, Joyce stopped sacrificing herself. people who only remember her when they are falling.